when I said, Baz, if you could be king for a day, what I didn't want you to come back with is I would go and open a new fucking wing at a hospital by cutting a velvet rope. I meant, what would you do if you had a load of power? How would you abuse the power? As king of the United Kingdom, I'm changing the national anthem, which is shit, to Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Nice one, King. I applaud you.
Good. If you disagreed, I would have you beheaded.
Yes, because apparently you used to be able to do that, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. That would have been brilliant, though, wouldn't it? Imagine if someone was pissing you off and just go, Dave, cut his head off.
Yes.
I've had enough.
I would make everything on television bingeable. Well, you know, like some of the TV series that you have to, like Ted Lasso, at the present moment, you have to wait a week.
Baz, I've got an idea. If you're king, get the cast of Ted Lasso to come to your castle and perform it live for you.
Brilliant. There you go. This is like the court jesters of, the olden days, isn't it? Sorry, this is a much better episode than I thought it was going to be.
I love the fact you turned up anyway thinking it was shit. Hello, and welcome to the Mildly Controversial Podcast. On this week's show, we are going to talk about what we would do if we were king for a day. If you don't live in a country that's got a king, like me, let's just imagine it's if we ran the world. Basically, we're talking about if you could do anything and tell other people to do anything, and if you could just boss people around, do whatever you wanted to do for 24 hours, what would you do? That's about
24 hours. I like this.
Yeah. That's what we're talking, Baz. So that's about that's about as much as we've thought about before we started coming up with ideas. So that's the long and the short of the premise for this podcast.
Before we dive any further, so when you first said about this, I thought, let's go. So I try to write the list of the most common ones.
Okay.
Which is make peace with all countries, make sure everyone has a family, take all dogs in pounds of shit, put them at home. Make sure all kids have presents at Christmas. Not let anyone drink and drive. Make all troops go home. World peace. Make sure everyone's fed. We're not doing that, are we?
Fuck that. None of those are going to make the cut, Baz. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about if we had a shitload of power for a day, how would we abuse it? That's pretty much what we're talking about here, Baz. So all of those things are very noble, and in reality, if we had the power to do those, we probably would. But that would make a shit podcast.
Yes.
None of that stuff. If I was king for a day, I probably would take most of my money and give it to people who need it. Yes. But that's boring, so we're not going to do that kind of stuff. You were saying, actually, though, that, we called it, like, if you were king for a day. Well, to be honest, we don't know what we're going to call it. But what I asked you to do was think of things you would do if you were king for a day. And you had a look at what the king can actually do.
Well, yeah, I took it quite literally. So when you said be king for a day, I thought, actually, I don't even know what the king can do. That's a great sentence, by the way. It's
King can do.
Yes.
King can gooly 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 watcher. King can do. King can do.
That's the theme. That's the theme tune for this one.
I'm not sure how far that stretches around the world. That one. It's a very Cub Scout thing.
Oh yeah, I always thought that was American, but that's an English one, isn't it?
I don't know. I sang it as a Ute.
Right. So just a really quick version of what the monarch can actually do. The monarch and their immediate family undertake various official, ceremonial, diplomatic, and representation. That's a hard word. Duties. It's basically just a load of boring stuff, but it just basically says their limited functions such as bestowing honours, appointing the Prime Minister. But the other thing I was interested in was the monarch is also the head of the British Armed Forces, which is all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they get to wear all the lovely ceremonial outfits when during various sort of events they do, but that's quite a large thing. I mean, if you were head of the army or the navy or the air force, surely you would probably use them a bit more, wouldn't you?
But they're not allowed to. It's like
I know,
they're
it's
so
boring.
they're so toothless because technically, I mean, they can't. They technically and ceremonially have to ask the Prime Minister to form a government like it matters. Do you know what I mean? They don't have any powers, and yeah, they are head of the armed forces, but they can't just go and invade Netherlands.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
We want their drugs. Go and get them.
And the tulips. We like tulips.
Yes.
And cheese.
Yes.
If you are listening in Netherlands, do apologise for our borderline racism there. I mean, it's not a race, but you know what I mean.
We forgot clogs as well, by the way.
I would invade them just for the clogs. I mean, who the fuck makes shoes out of wood?
So when you said about like what you could do, I looked at that and thought, I mean, the actual things you could say you could actually do, staying within those parameters, are crap. So I went a long way outside of those, I'm not going to lie.
Good. Because when I said, Baz, if you could be king for a day, what I didn't want you to come back with is I would go and open a new fucking wing at a hospital by cutting a velvet rope and pulling a velvet cord and pulling velvet curtains apart to reveal a plaque. That's not what I meant. Yeah. I meant, what would you do if you had a load of power? How would you abuse the power? That's what we would. And if this episode, if I can think between now and when we post this, if I could think of a better way of encapsulating the let's just abuse our privilege side of it, then it won't be called If We Were King for a Day.
Yes. So the weirdest thing is, it's like. This would change as well as you got older. I mean, you know, we're men of a certain age now. I'm one of an even more certain age. But I imagine if you told a kid all these things, how many the differences in what they would abuse and the things that we would abuse.
Yeah, a kid would just go, I want 400 Xboxes and I want my mum to not be able to tell me what to do and I want to stay up late. That's it.
No homework, all the sweets, that kind of stuff.
No homework, all the sweets, no bedtime. That's it.
Exactly.
Such a simple life as a kid.
Yeah, brilliant. So look, this is your idea. So I figured you would have some good ones. So do you want to kick off first?
Yeah, I will kick off, Baz. And we've come up. You and I have come up with a bunch of them, and the punters on Facebook have come up with some as well. So we'll incorporate those. The very first thing I'm going to do with all this power, Baz, is I'm going to find the person who made predictive text change well to wheel and fuck to duck. And I'm going to find their phone and I'm going to get some technical boffin to make every time they type the word the, change it to cockwomble. That's what I'm doing first out of everything.
Thing is, so those two things alone are perfect because I've now changed my phone to every time I type duck, it goes to fuck anyway.
I've not even thought of that, Baz. I feel so foolish.
And obviously, I've got rid of wheel for well because those. How many times were for we're is the other one, isn't it?
And do you know what? Surely people use the words well and were before more often than wheel and we're.
And that's the point, isn't it? It just fucking does you.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some technical boffin to make their phone. Nobody else is just their phone. Every time they type the word the, to change it to cockwomble. And I've thought about that word very carefully, Baz, right? Because I wanted it to be semi-profanity, right? But also long enough that it pisses them off that they've got to delete loads of words. You know what I mean? I was going to go for the C-bomb, but it's too easy to delete. There's only 4 letters. So cockwomble is where I've gone with it.
Yeah. And the C-bomb doesn't change that often anyway if you type it right the first time.
No, I'm saying every time they type the word the.
Oh, right, yes.
That's why it's going to annoy them.
Got ya.
Every time they type the word the, it changes it to cockwomble. So they have to delete, and then type it again. Delete, and then type again. And then click on the bit where it's got it in quotes on that little bar. See, just give them a bit of the annoyance that we all have.
Good. That's good and kingly.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's like, so that's where I've gone first. Right? So that's a level, that's an indicator for how fucking stupid all of these things are going to be, by the way.
Right, okay.
What have you gone for first, Baz?
Well, look, so this is, like I said, I went slightly heavier than what we're allowed. So if I could become king for the day, I am going to demand a calorie refund.
Oh, I like this.
Well, so, like if you eat something you don't like.
Yes.
Yeah, not deliberately, but you've eaten something and then you go, oh, I didn't really like that. And it doesn't happen all the time, but, you should get those calories back.
This is genius, Baz.
Calories should be a thing that you enjoy. So yeah, you imagine that, and particularly like dull food. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm watching what I eat in a minute, and so I'm not eating very many interesting things just because interesting things have got calories in them.
Yep.
So I would like to be able to get a calorie refund on the things that I don't like, so that I could eat more things than the things I do like.
I think it's an excellent suggestion, Baz. I'm also watching what I eat. I'm watching all the shit I eat because I don't care. I'm watching it all the way in. Like, you're for me. So yeah, look, I've got. I don't know. I guess I would call it a dad bod, but it's and. I don't know if people know or not, but I am a qualified personal trainer and I work as a fitness coach. So I've got a certain amount of pressure to look a certain, not be a fat fucker, to be fair.
Yeah, you don't want to be a beast, do you?
But
it doesn't send the right message.
I've found, even at 48, I can eat and drink pretty much whatever I want and just look a little bit and have a bit of a kind of a baggy dad bod. And I'm happy with that. I would rather eat and drink what I want, have a bit of a baggy dad bod. But look, I can coach someone to have 10% body fat and be ripped and stuff, but because I can coach them to do it, I know exactly what it takes, and I'm not prepared to do it.
That's right.
I'm all in for the calorie refund, mate. All in. But definitely. If you go for a meal and you think, fuck it, I'm going to have a cheat meal. You eat this meal and just go, oh, that was shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want to Or here's one, Baz. In a similar way, life. I didn't think of stuff like this because I thought of stuff that somebody with a lot of power could actually do. But I like this kind of theoretical thing that you've come up with here. And along the same lines, I wish life had an edit undo function.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? When you fuck up and you just go, oh shit. Edit undo. I didn't do it. No, it's just like, I've made a mistake. I regret it. I want to undo that mistake. Imagine that. It'd be amazing.
Isn't that like sort of curved arrow that points backwards? Yes.
Shit, click that. It's like, I didn't mean to say that. Boom. Never did.
And is it also? But yours would also be the one where if you press it 10 times, it undoes the last 10 errors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
I ain't got time for that, Baz. But to be fair, it's got a limit on it of how many it does. It's like if you keep pressing it, I'd still like if I press this button to undo the mistakes I did in my life. If I pressed it to its maximum where it kind of forgets that it's got any more to undo, I've still only got to yesterday.
Exactly. Did you get that message of saying no more undos?
No more undos. That's it, pal. Well, maybe that. Look, I'm not greedy. I'm fine with that. If I could just undo the mistakes I've done in the last hour, even. Do you know what I mean? Because usually when I fuck up, I realise very quickly.
You imagine though if you got stuck and you end up being a baby.
You know when you think your computer's not working, so you keep tapping, it's like it's not doing this, and all of a sudden it remembers that it's a computer and goes. I was like, shit.
Right, I'm just adding a note to my list of things for superpower. Undo button. There you go.
There you go, mate. There you go.
2 for 1. That one.
Yeah, 100%. I'm endorsing you and I'm endorsing your previous one of the calorie thing and basically widening out to just. Wouldn't it be brilliant though? And you make a mistake, it's just, like imagine like you say something to the wife that you think's funny, and because look, people obviously in what we do here and what I do on social media, I do stuff I think is funny. Sometimes people don't think it's funny, but that's kind of the risk. That's the risk you run. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I miss the mark, but do you know what I mean? You're not perfect. You've got to give it a go. And yeah, sometimes I say stuff and it dies, or you say stuff and someone's like offended. I don't mean, look, if I put something out there and loads, it gets 1 million views and a handful of people are offended, and it's like, that's on you, not me.
Yeah.
No, it's more kind of like, if I say something to the wife and it turns out to like, she's like, what did you say? I would like, poof, press the button. Didn't say anything. What are you talking about? It never happened. I've annulled my action. There you go.
So you're saying, like, with your first one, that the levels of power are going up on yours. I'm waiting for your next one now.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I'm not staying at predictive text level. I'm going beyond that. Well, look, while we're on the monarchy, mate.
Yep.
I have mentioned this before, but if I was king for a day, I would offer the monarchy up for sponsorship.
Yeah. Sorry, before you say, if you haven't listened to this episode, this actually, like, Mike thought of this while we were recording a podcast, and it's fucking genius. Honestly,
I just think it's brilliant because, look, I know that the monarchy in the UK bring a huge amount of money to. Like, there's a lot of people say, oh, they cost a load of money because the government give them money, but they bring in far more in terms of tourism and all that kind of stuff. So. I mean, that's been proven in studies and shit like that, so that's not even an argument. But there's nothing stopping us getting them sponsored and getting them make more money, right? And I love the idea of this because I just think, and this one on here, when I'm king for a day and I get to make that decision, right? I'm doing it and I'm saying that not only am I offering them of a sponsorship, but it goes to the highest bidder, and the monarchy have no option to say no.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's just the most money that we can get. So I just love the idea of King Charles walking down on these things like he's in Berlin now on an official state function with OnlyFans across his chest or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Something really inappropriate because they paid the most money. I like that. And I'd love the idea as well that I'm thinking that, I mean, you're working out of Windsor Castle for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not working out of Windsor Castle, Baz. You're working out of Paddy Power Windsor Castle.
Well, I think we said this before as well. Like the really good or the sort of more vibrant members of the royal family would have, like racer drivers have all the things down their sleeves. They've got smaller sponsorships, but loads and loads and loads of them.
I like that. I just need to point out, by the way, if you are one of our American listeners, Paddy Power is a bookmaker in the UK and Ireland, by the way. I haven't just gone massive slur and no. That's not what it is. Paddy is the short form for Patrick. I covered this in a reel over on Dad Dancer on Instagram. Go and have a look at that if you don't understand.
I think it's worth reiterating as well that we came up with some fairly how can I put it, some connected sponsors for Prince Andrew last time, didn't we?
Oh, I've got one here, Baz.
Brilliant. Here we go.
No, look, with Prince Andrew, I've just gone with Werther's Originals. And I'm not going to explain that. The people in the UK will get that. If you're in the States, you won't understand it, but it's really funny, by the way.
Because originally we were going to say that it was also Pizza Express was going to sponsor as well, wasn't it? And Sure for Men.
Because you don't sweat. Of course you don't.
I just had a thought as well about Windsor. Only because when you said about it, surely you'd turn it into a theme park when it came to that. So it'd be Windsor Wonderland, wouldn't it?
That is beautiful, Baz.
Just literally as you were talking about sponsoring Windsor.
Baz, that's beautiful. There's a lot of people say I should boot you off this, but there's little moments like that, Baz.
I feed off you, Mike. That's what happens.
Nobody says that, Baz. I just think it. Brilliant. What's your next one, mate?
This is a much better episode than I thought it was going to be.
I love the fact you turned up anyway thinking it was shit.
Well, as ever, I was really prepared.
I just Baz is like, I think this is going to be shit, but I'll rock up anyway.
So look, my next one's a bit light, but I kind of like this one. I would make everything on television bingeable. Because we were talking about this the other day. It's a
good one, Baz.
Well, like some of the TV series that you have to, like Ted Lasso. At the present moment, you have to wait a week, and I don't mind because it's worth it. But I'd really like to be able to go. I'm not having that. I'm going to watch every single episode of EastEnders right up to the one they've just made that haven't released yet. I want everything if that's the case. Because I think we live in a society now where you could just go, no, I want to watch it all this weekend. I've set it this side.
Baz, I've got an idea. If you're king, or you're this like really powerful person, get the cast of Ted Lasso to come to your castle and perform it live for you.
Brilliant. There you go.
Don't fucking worry about, like, I've got to wait for that. I've got the answer. I don't want to wait for it to be on telly. I'm going to make them put it on my telly early. Get him to come there and do it live for you.
This is like the court jesters of the olden days, isn't it? Come here and perform episode 1 of series 3.
Imagine that. And do you know, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a really weird episode in Ted Lasso. Can't remember where it was, but it was almost like a dream, or it was really, really weird. And in the nature of like the court jester, it was, you know, when his assistant kind of disappeared into Soho or something, and it was just
that was one. It was the coach one.
Yeah, it's really weird. I didn't enjoy that one.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that, you know, going along the court jester theme, that when they come and perform that one live for you, they just go, no, execute them all. That was terrible. Off with their heads.
So I think we pretty agree that Ted Lasso is the mildly controversial podcast possible favourite programme between us.
It's going to be close, if not up there. You know, it's at least top 5.
There you go. Yes. So I don't know. I know it's on a paid service. If you haven't seen it, I think it's worth getting Apple just to go and see it.
Literally is. How much is Apple Plus or whatever it is?
I don't know. I got it free,
Apple
and now I got it free when I got a new iPhone for a year, and then I think I'm paying for it now, but I don't even check. I'm so terrible for this.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, Baz,
I work for the king.
Baz works in the king's back garden, so he's influenced by people who have got no concept of money whatsoever. So he's absolutely fucking loaded.
Right. That was a simple one. What have you got?
Okay, Baz. The next one is, as king of the United Kingdom, I'm changing the national anthem, which is shit, to Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Because, you know what? Everybody loves that song.
Yeah.
And can you imagine before a football match, if instead of playing the which is, it's like a funeral tune, yeah?
Yeah, it is. It's a dirge.
It's just dreadful. Imagine if it was no. It doesn't matter what the words are. Everyone would be going mental. It'd be brilliant. So yeah, we're changing the national anthem to Mr. Brightside by the Killers. And while we're on national anthems, right, I'll throw in a supplementary one on here.
Go on then.
Whatever the national anthem is, I'm forcing Scotland and Wales to sing the UK national anthem before sporting events, because I think it's an absolute travesty that they don't at the moment. Yeah. Because I'm an England fan. I go to England football matches and we have to sing the UK national anthem.
Yeah.
Scotland and Wales sing their own. Don't agree with it. I don't want to sing the UK national anthem either, because I don't feel British or UKish. I feel English, which is a bit weird because both my parents are Scottish, but that's the way it is. All right.
We're long passes, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel English. I don't feel British. So if I have to sing the UK national anthem, then Scotland and Wales have to. And do you know what? I think they might be more up for it if it was Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Yeah. Can I forward my suggestion for the anthem as well?
Yes.
Because it's a proper sort of banging one. Is "We Will Rock You."
Oh yeah. Okay. yeah.
Well, so as anybody who's ever heard Mr. Brightside, I've never seen the Killers live, but I know when it goes off, it's like one of these massive stadium things where everybody goes fucking nuts. So I can imagine in a sporting event, as you so rightly said, people would just go off the deep end, wouldn't they?
Well, look. Every time you're in a pub, if you're in a pub at 10 o'clock at night and Mr. Brightside comes on, the whole pub's bouncing and everyone's singing along.
Yeah.
It's I think it and now Sweet Caroline for different reasons. Unofficially, already the national anthem of the UK anyway. So
That's
they might
darts in it as well.
We might as well, we might as well just make it official that the UK national anthem is now "Mr. Brightside" by the Killers.
Okay, I'm all up for that. Nice one, King. I applaud you.
Good. If you disagreed, I would have you beheaded.
Yes, because apparently you used to be able to do that, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. That would have been brilliant, though, wouldn't it? you know those days you have when someone's pissing you off?
Yes.
And you've got these days, there's literally nothing you could do apart from ignore them and hope they go away. Imagine if someone was pissing you off and just go, Dave, cut his head off.
Yes.
I've had enough. It'd be amazing.
And then hung, draw, and quarter him as well, just a good measure.
Yeah. I was like, make his wife go and look at it. Yeah, put it on a spike and make his wife go and have a look.
Right, look, I've gone very close to home on this one because so I've been at Windsor Castle today, and I've heard rumours, and they're not substantiated, that there is a warehouse or a building within Windsor Castle which is full of gifts from visiting dignitaries. So some of the artefacts in here are supposedly like a gold carriage, and like I said, I might be sort of like getting some of this wrong, but there are things in there which are people bought from Japan, India, from sort of all around the world. I want those things for myself.
Take them quick. Baz, you're only king for a day. Take them, get them out of there, and put them somewhere you'll find them.
But why keep them? I know there's loads of things. Why keep them in a warehouse? Let's just have them out on display. If you don't want them, these people that turn everyday objects and put a light in them so they become lamps. I want to do that with some of these things. I want to turn it into everyday household furniture. That's what I want to do, and they're mine, so I can do it.
Absolutely. Make them yours. And like I say, we've got 24 hours, but if you give them to yourself, or you go and hide them somewhere, then you can go and find them when the 24 hours is up. I like it.
But I'm going to check on this one when I'm there to I'll report back on this at another time to see if this thing's, like literally a real thing and how much is known about it.
I can imagine it is, Baz, because every time they get a dignitary come over, they bring some kind of stuff. And I know they've got massive houses.
Yeah.
But you're just like, you're still only a certain, even if you have got massive houses, all these people who are constantly coming and giving you new stuff, it's the same as like, if you have people over for dinner and they bring you like a pot plant. Right, cheers. Fucking, where can we hide that? I don't know, fucking that. It's the same thing, it's the same thing, but obviously they're fabulously wealthy and have already got a load of stuff. They don't need the tat comparable to all the massive like golden shit they've got. The tat that some foreigners brought, they don't want that
solid gold carriage. I've got one of those already. Thanks.
That's so over that shit.
Just before we move on, I was there today, and I don't know who he is. So he's a royal driver, and he's friends with someone I was working with. He turned up today in one of the Queen's former cars.
Okay.
And we pointed out and said, there's a few scratches on it. And he said, the upkeep of this car to get this fully redone is $500,000, so it's staying like this.
Wow.
It's I've got a photograph. I'll show you later. It's fucking amazing.
Wow.
It's clearly a Rolls Royce because that's what they have.
Yeah.
But it's just a work of art. But I just thought I'd add that just because I saw it today and I was thinking, this is ridiculous. I don't know how much this car's worth. And I don't know why he's taking it out for a drive for. I think it's going somewhere, but he popped by to see us today.
I don't know how much it's worth, but if it costs $500,000 to repair, I'd suggest it's quite an expensive car.
Yes, I should think so. It's not just brake pads, is it? Cool. Mike, how else are you going to change the world with your powers?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's changing the world, Baz, but one of the things I'm going to do in this 24 hours is I'm going to have a bath in Krug champagne. Right? Hopefully with Holly Willoughby.
Okay, yeah.
But, I'm not going weird on it. I'm not going to force her.
Well, we know she's jumped the queue to get there, so that's fine.
Well, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So, like, she's clearly into the Royals, so you never know. I'm not going to force her. I'll ask her, and hopefully she'll say yes. But yeah, when I first thought of this, I thought, how decadent would it be to have a bath in Krug champagne? And then me fucking practical and logical mind kicked in. It was like, well, you're not going to get clean. You're just going to get sticky.
Yeah.
And then, and you know, as soon as you got in it, you're not going to drink it, are you?
No.
Because it's got you in it. So it's like... So I kind of, I thought I'd throw it in there as just one that I would do just because I can.
Yes.
But yeah, my enthusiasm for it waned very quickly once I thought of the practicalities behind the whole thing.
So you've gone for Krug. That's not. Is that the most expensive champagne there is?
No, God, no. I mean, there's others. I just went for basically. I mean, look, I've been in an environment where at times I've had a lot of champagne to drink.
Yeah.
I have my favourite, which is Bollinger, by the way.
Same, yeah. Weirdly.
Oh, Bollinger is a phenomenal champagne.
Yeah.
It's literally the only one I could. You could put 30 glasses of champagne down. I would only be able to pick out the Bollinger. The rest of them are just like, whatever. So the Bollinger is my kind of top level.
Yeah.
I know, though, that I went with Krug just because I know it's like Krug, Cristal, and even more ridiculous ones above that. But I just went with that because it was a well-known, very expensive champagne.
Good. I like that.
And if Hollywood Willoughby is listening... it don't even need to be Krug champagne. If you want to come around our house, I'll just put Diet Coke in or something. It's fine.
Or Asti Spumante. That's
whatever. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even Aldi's Prosecco, it's going to cost a lot to fill the bath. So I'm probably only going to be able to commit to maybe like Aldi's version, Aldi Orangeade or something like that. But Holly, if you're listening, the offer's there.
There you go. I'm sure now, she's a regular listener to the podcast. She will literally DM us now.
I hope so. It's there. The offer's there.
Right. I've gone, again, for slightly health, fitness-based one. Mm-hmm. I would have the ability to change my body shape whenever I want to. Because, there are times when... we spoke about this earlier. Dad bods are comfortable. There's no expectation. But sometimes you want to get into something that being. I'm a bit broader up top, so not all clothes look as I want them to. So I'd want to be skinny sometimes to wear a certain outfit, and other times I just want to be massively fat, just so I can wear. Like one of those really big suits. Like Mr. Creosote, reference term of a long time ago.
Yes. Oh, I've got that one. That one.
But you can imagine, so you could literally have any body shape that you want on any given day. I'd like to be able to do that, and I think as king, I should be allowed to.
Absolutely.
If I'm wearing my ceremonial, armed forces thing, or I'm just going around in my my suit where I put my hands in my jacket pockets with the thumbs out. That because you got to have that, haven't you? That's the king thing.
I like that. I like the idea of that, and I like the idea that the king would then have to have some ceremonial military uniform made the size of a fucking marquee, because that's my fat day, so I want to wear it that day.
But can you imagine though? I mean, I know most people just go, "Oh yeah, I'd have a proper, muscular body all the time." That's a lot of you don't want that all the time. Some days you just want to be skinny or fat.
I'll tell you what, I've got an example of when I wanted to be skinny. Look, I'm not massive by any stretch of the imagination, right? But my forearms are of a size that I couldn't reach something in the fucking engine compartment of my car today. I was like, if I could have had really skinny arms, that what I did today that took about 3 hours would have taken about 15 minutes.
See how important stuff is.
100%, mate. I'm with you on that one, because if I could have had skinny, wiry arms for 15 minutes, I could have done that job miles quicker. That's brilliant, mate.
What else have you got? I guess yours is ramping up a bit now.
Baz, I can't promise it's ramping it up, because I've gone with quite a lot of futile stuff, to be honest.
You're not going to disappoint anybody with this one, are you?
Well,
You're going for it.
Oh, I hope so. Look, this is as futile as all of them, mate. But we'll do a couple more, or we'll do one more each, and then we've got some from the punters off Facebook, so we'll go into theirs in a minute. But yeah, my next one, Baz, is people who say Pacific instead of specific incur an extra 10% income tax, and all that revenue goes to me to make up for putting up with their shit. That's what King Mike has just brought in.
Well, if you want more revenue and add all the other things that irritate you like that, then your one day as king will make you a billionaire for life, I think.
Baz, if I made everything that irritates me about people punishable by 10% income tax, nobody would have any income at all. So we'll just go with this Pacific instead of specific thing. But it was Emma that came up with the idea of charging people an extra level. Because I mean, look, if you were charged an extra 10% of income tax, it'd be a pain in the arse, and you wouldn't enjoy it. But it's not like I'm saying I'm having all their money. I think I'm being quite reasonable there. I'm just saying an extra 10% on top of their tax bill, right? And all that revenue goes to me forever.
Well, so I think we've discussed it in the pod. So basically, I thought some of these people were just stupid, and you assumed that everyone was just being fucking irritating, didn't you?
I think it was the other way around, wasn't it?
I just assumed people did it because they didn't understand the Pacific wasn't
No, that's
specific.
it. No. What's it? No. You said what's it? I can't remember. Anyway, we can't use that bit because neither of us can remember the fucking conversation, Baz. That must have been that must have been a good episode where we had plenty of rum and beer that time.
Yeah, I know.
Look, if anyone's watching or listening and remembers a podcast that me and Baz don't remember, let us know, because we can't be arsed looking back at the old ones. But you might do.
Yeah, so anyway, tax the shit out of those people.
Yeah, it's actually I just think it's a very, very, very effective form of funding my lifestyle from now onwards.
So I think it's a good one because they're the sort of powers that you're actually only taxing a small percentage of the population, aren't you? But also I want to say, I'm not sure they'd even know they were getting taxed, let alone being fucking idiots. So
exactly. So there you go. It's fine. It's like an idiot tax. Do you know what I call
idiot tax? Oh, there you go.
Do you know what there is an idiot tax? People don't know about it, but I've been victim of it. So whenever I do something stupid that costs me money, I call it an idiot tax.
Okay.
And I've done it before. Emma asked me to book hotel rooms for her team in where she works. So I did, and I was meant to book them for 6 weeks' time. I booked them for tonight. Luckily, in that instance, the hotel let us off. But there was another one where we were going to Marbella. We were going to Marbella. We were meeting up with loads of our mates in Marbella. And so as soon as I heard we were going, I was like, right, fuck it. I'm booking the flights. And I booked them way in advance and got a really good deal for them. Anyway, completely forgot I booked them, booked some more. And then booked them. I ended up with 3 outbound flights and 2 flights back. Again, idiot tax. I got punished financially for being stupid. Idiot tax exists, and it's not something that an imaginary king for a day needs to do. It exists. It's there. It's just the money doesn't go to anyone in particular.
If this was an official thing actually done by the government, it'd be the only time that I would be in the top, the top bracket of tax in this country.
That's brilliant, Baz. I've always wanted to be in the top bracket of tax. Didn't realise it was going to be the idiot tax, though.
Check me out. Look at me.
Loaded. Well, I was. Right, Baz. So I asked the wonderful people on our Facebook page what they would do in our situation if you were king for a day.
Cool.
And I've got a few crackers. So we've got a couple. We'll start we'll start kind of cool, but not mildly controversial.
I like this.
Deborah Marin Guerrero. As always, I do apologise if I butchered your the pronunciation of your
Sounds
names,
good to me.
But yeah, no, that'll do. I would add an 8th day of the week just for fun and relaxation.
Oh, nice.
See, I would be a bit worried about that because if you had an 8th day that is for fun and relaxation, your job is going to go to 6. And we're going to end up in the same situation. You just call in the days different names.
It's a really good point. Surely the thing would be to like get rid of a day and just have more fun time for yourself, right?
Well, Sherry Young says I would mandate a 3-day work week with 4-day weekends.
There you go. That's the same thing but better.
But you know what? In all seriousness, and just to get factual and serious, just for a very brief moment in the podcast, 4-day working weeks are a thing, and they've proven that they are that workforces are more productive working a 4-day week than a 5-day week.
Those old Scandinavians have got it sussed, don't they?
There you go. They get everything right, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
6-hour working day in Sweden. I'm moving there.
I'm not. I work about 45 minutes a day, Baz.
I was going to say I thought of that and then I thought of you.
Okay, we'll ramp it up a bit here now.
Yeah, go on.
Lynn Caldwell has said something that I think it relates to you and your sartorial habits. It says, off with the feet if they dare not wear oddly matched socks.
Okay, there you go.
So it's definitely referring to your odd socks.
Only in odd years, though.
But that's it. I read that and I was like, well, hold on a minute. Baz only wears odd socks in years that end in an odd number.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the 31st of December this year, Baz, you must think, shit, she's going to cut my feet off.
No, I'm in prison. I'm in feet prison.
No. And we've also got one from Chris Johnson, and I like this because it's like, this is Chris Johnson gets us. Because this is exactly the sort of thing, the exactly sort of level that I was thinking of when I said, if you were king for a day, what would you do? So Chris Johnson gets us because he says, the first thing I'd do is behead the people who add an S to the end of Lego. It's Lego, not bloody Legos. That is bang on exactly what we were looking for when we asked for some contribution from the people from Facebook. So.
Can we make him the prince?
Yeah, he's officially he's Sir Chris of Johnson.
There you go.
Let me just. I just had to look back at my phone because I've had enough to drink tonight. I needed to look back at my phone and check that his name was Chris Johnson because I said it more than 4 seconds ago.
There you are, Chris Johnson. You've been verified by beer and alcohol.
There you go. Sir Chris of Johnson.
There you go.
Okay, my next one, Baz, is I'm going to make letting your kid play a tablet without headphones on a plane punishable by 10 years in prison.
Good.
Because, again, it sounds like I'm some kind of international jet setter, but I have just been on a couple of planes, obviously, to come over to you and to film some podcasts and that.
I'm assuming this happened to you on one of these trips recently, did it?
Oh, my God. There's just nothing worse. I get that you're trying to keep your kid entertained, yeah? And keeping your kid entertained, look, listen, your kid watching an iPad without headphones and all these fucking noises going on from what they're watching is better than them screaming and having a tantrum.
Yeah.
Right? But headphones are about £4.
Yeah.
Just why have you not got your kid a set of headphones so you're not pissing off all the plane?
Can I ask you, while you're doing your royal edict to get rid of this, can you also add those cunts that fucking walk up the street with their phones blaring music to that list as well?
100%, Baz.
Thank you.
They're higher up in the list.
Yeah,
anyone who listens to music out loud on their phone anywhere other than their house, again, 10 years in prison.
I'm with you on this one. Thank you, King.
Yeah. And also another one along the same lines: people who speak on speaker to somebody in a private phone call in public.
There you
The
go.
fuck is that all about? I was on a train the other day and someone's there and they've got this is only going to work for the people who are watching on Facebook. And they're talking like this into their phone, right?
Oh, no, I think people understand this completely, trust me.
Yeah, so they're holding, like, I'll paint a picture in words for the people listening on the audio, yeah? They're holding their phone horizontally and talking into the bottom of it, right? Whereas if they just turn their phone and slap it to the side of their fucking head, only they need to listen to the conversation they're having. Yeah, so they're having it as well. That's another thing that's punishable by 10 years in prison.
Good. So, I might have gone beheading.
I'm a very understanding and charitable man. If you're wondering why Baz is laughing at that, it's because I said something incoherent that I've now cut out because I sounded like I was drunk, and I promise I'm not.
So look, you've done quite a few which are for the good of the nation. I seem to have done quite a few which are just for the good of me. So
all good, man. Well, I'm not sure how much the nation is going to benefit from me having a bath in Krug champagne with Holly Willoughby, to be fair.
Yeah, I forgot that one. Anyway, my next one is purely about me.
Good.
I'd have my own lane on every motorway.
I love that.
Do you know what it's like? Like
I love it.
Even on a good day on the motorway, or most roads, to be honest, but particularly motorways, you get pissed off, don't you? Because it's like there's always some other dick on there that's not driving to my exacting standards, and I drive nice and slowly now, so I don't even come across the people who are speeding. I'd like my own motorway. It's happened to me once. You know, like since the change to motorways in this country, they now have like the fifth lane, and sometimes
they smart motorways.
Yeah, they open up the hard shoulder. I've been on there before where I've gone all the way down to the M25, which is about 35 miles from my house, in my own lane because no one else has done it. It's a Saturday, granted. I'd like that to be every single day of the week. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, Baz, that what I agree. I think it's a good one, and I endorse it. But I think it's a massive indictment on how busy the traffic is in the UK motorway system.
Yeah.
That you, who drives at the speed of an old lady,
definitely
are complaining that you can't drive quick enough. So
it's more of that relaxation about not having anybody braking in front of you, having to stop. Imagine you just cruise on there, get on the inside lane, and then just go all the way to your destination. Many years ago, when I'd finished a job early, I drove back to the office, and I said, "Right, I'm not gonna overtake anybody on the motorway at all." It's like the nicest journey I'd ever had. I just cruise, never had to overtake anybody. Perfect.
Like I said, I do endorse what you've just suggested, Baz, but I have also just realised that if you were the king, you would have outriders and you wouldn't have to wait in the traffic anyway.
Yeah, but we're going down this more cool route, aren't we? Where I'd be in my own car just driving around and no one could touch me. Obviously, the Secret Service or whatever would be looking after me.
You can be, but even when the Queen decided to drive her Range Rover around Windsor, she's still got policemen on motorbikes stopping all the fucking traffic, and she's driving through red lights and all that. You know.
Oh yeah, and all the guys in their little tweed jackets running around like secretively, not very secretively.
just running alongside the thing. So yeah, it's a good idea, but I would suggest, Baz, if you were actually the king, your car would never be stationary when you didn't want it to be. So
fair enough. I'd still want my own lane though, just because it's kingly.
You get your own lane on the motorway and never fucking use it. That's more what we're talking about there, Baz.
I was just trying to think, like, what would our royal crests be? Because obviously ER, the new one is CR, right?
Yes.
Mine would be
BR.
Yes, there you go.
That's what it is. Mine would be MR. That's how it works, Baz.
Are we all Reginas? Is that what it is?
No. Regina is ladies.
Yes.
The R in Sia, like, strap in, people. Here's some factual information.
Love this. Go on.
The R in CR is Rex, which is the male version.
There
you go. ER meant Elizabeth Regina.
Yeah.
And say that carefully after a few pints, by the way.
When you've done this, I'll tell you about something. Go on.
And CR is Charles Rex, which is the male version.
So one of my older sister's friends, when she was in Peterborough, her actual name was Regina.
Was it?
Imagine how much fun she had growing up.
Well, I tell you what, they should have called her Elizabeth. She would have got any table she wanted at a restaurant. It was like, what's the name? It's Elizabeth Regina.
But obviously her parents named her Regina, like in sort of homage to the Queen.
I thought you said her second name was Regina.
No, her first name.
God, sorry, I've completely misunderstood. I thought her surname was.
No, sorry, her name was Regina. They called her Regina.
Yes. I have a massive issue with that.
Yeah.
I don't know this person. I know nothing about her past, but I know for a fact that all the way through her schooling, she would have been known as Regina the Vagina.
Yeah.
So it's just, do not name your kid. Here's some advice from the mildly controversial podcast people. Do not name your child something that rhymes with an actual profanity.
Can I also say, though, she was the hardest person in her year.
She probably had to be.
Yes.
To kick the shit out of everybody who's called her Regina Vagina.
Yeah, so little story there. Right, we're moving into the tail end of this now. What we got?
We are. Okay, Baz. So, finally, I'm going to wrap up here with my final thing I'm going to do as king for the day.
Like this, go on.
And basically, this is happening at 11:59 p.m. on our day as king.
Okay.
Right? So I'm sneaking these ones in at the end. I'm going to make myself a lord.
Yeah.
Which I understand is a bit like, when someone says, you've got 10 wishes, I'll wish for 1,000 wishes.
Yep.
But fuck it, it's my rules, I'm going to do it, all right? So I'm going to make myself a lord, and then I'm going to immediately say that I'll make it a law that none of my laws that I've made in this last 24 hours can be changed. And also, I'm immune from prosecution for my entire life. I'm doing that at 11:59 and then running out the door and saying, I know you said I could only be it for a day, but that's my rules, all right?
This is also you are quite correct. This is, I wish for 1,000,000 wishes. There you go.
Look, I mean, you've given me 24 hours as monarch, and 1 minute before it finished, I've made myself a lord, and I've said, all the laws I've just said have to stay. Signed it quickly, and I've said that I am immune from prosecution for the rest of my life. Now, I know some people might be listening to that and thinking, why? What's he got planned? Nothing, but it'd be nice to just be able to do whatever the fuck you want for the entirety of your life. So that's where I've gone with that one, Baz. Well, not that I'm planning on doing like any seedy shit or any like weird stuff or any like bad things. I just think, how good would your life be if you just knew you could do whatever you want and never have any repercussions?
Well, you've just encouraged me to add that to my list of kingly things I would do as well, because it's the perfect way to like stop being king but still be the king.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not king anymore, but you can't touch me. Do. Well, I can't think of a better way to end the podcast than me singing a really bad version of MC Hammer.
Touch this.
So, all right, let's finish now, Baz.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you are still listening and watching, because we know some people watch a bit of it and then disappear. If you are one of the awesome legends who've come this far, go on to Facebook, and under this video, I want you to put the what emoji should we have this week, Baz?
The king.
Just the crown? No, that's a bit obvious. No, let's do something really weird.
Go on.
What should we have? Grasshopper.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I've never done this before. This shows you how Mike's brain works. Like literally, it's like grasshopper.
I'm not sure it does, Baz.
No, I like it though. I mean,
all right. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. To show us that you've listened this so far, and so far into this podcast, and us drinking ourselves into this state hasn't been futile. Please just go to the Facebook and comment with a grasshopper emoji and nothing else. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting everything that we do. Just a reminder, if you do want to contribute to the cost of the podcast, look, we didn't ask you for anything for 2 years, so now we're going to ask you every time. If you do want to contribute to the costs of running this podcast, then please go to buymeacoffee.com/mildlypod. Or if you want to buy us shiny new microphones or contribute to shiny new microphones that will make us sound a lot better. The content won't be any better, but audio quality-wise, it might be better. If you want to do that, then if you head to the website at daddancer.co.uk/podcast, there is a link there to our Amazon wish list. As always, thanks so much for doing what you do. Don't forget to do all the subscribey shit. Subscribe, like, share, recommend us, review us, all those things. Thanks again for all your support on ongoing and what you do. That is us for another week. We will see you next time.
Fucking grasshopper.